Today I have 5 suggestions for you, 5 things I think you should know when you are going to eat your food on a cruise ship. Also, a quick announcement about the Carnival Vista. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Thursday. It is August 29th of 2024, and we are really excited. We're going to head out tomorrow to New York to go on the Love Boat Cruise. So I think this announcement by Carnival regarding the Vista hit a little bit closer to home since we have a scheduled cruise very soon. The Carnival Vista has been having trouble with her propulsion problems, and they have been trying to fix it as they go. But Carnival has determined that they need to pull that ship out of service in order to make all the required repairs. So the September 7th, the sailing of the Carnival Vista out of Port Canaveral has been canceled. So, of course, my heart goes out to everyone who happens to be booked on that cruise. Pop down in the comments and let us know if you were scheduled to be sailing on that cruise. I really hope that everyone is able to go on another cruise soon that was scheduled on that ship. I know that it's a little bit tight availability now, so I hope they're able to find something that will work with their schedule, but wanted to bring you up to date on that. Now, let's talk for a minute about dining. To me, dining is such a huge topic when we talk about dining on cruise ships. It can vary an awful lot from between the different cruise lines. The experience that you have can vary just based on the venue that you choose to dine in when you're on a cruise ship. So I thought it would be kind of fun to go through just a few things. And before I do that, I wanted to remind everyone that before, when cruising first became available to the masses, when it became something that wasn't just something for the super rich, when they first started doing it, they had what they call traditional dining. You sat down at your certain seating every evening at the same time, at the same table, at the same wait staff. And that seemed to work great until people started complaining and saying, you know what, I don't always want to eat at 5 o'clock. Some evenings I want to eat at 5. Sometimes I want to eat at 6, and other evenings I want to eat at 7. And so the cruise lines listened, and they got to the point that they had very flexible dining. Some of them call it anytime dining, and you literally just can walk up to the main dining room or any other venue on the ship and say, I want to go ahead and have my dinner now. Well, that created a little bit of problems because then there were longer wait times. Historically, when they were doing that traditional time, everybody on the ship had an assigned time to sit down at the table, and so when you went, the only thing that was slow was maybe if they had opened the dining room doors or not. But as that has come around, the cruise lines have thought, well, you know what, we could take reservations. So then people can kind of plan their schedules. We are to the point now that the large cruise lines, and I'm thinking of the ones that sail the huge ships like Princess, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, and Norwegian, they all have a slightly different approach to the way they do their dining, but I think it overall works out really well. So based on who you're going to sail on, you're going to want to do a little bit of research to know how they do it. But overall, the things that I'm going to tell you today apply to all of the different cruise lines. So it's going to be really helpful for you. And the other thing I wanted to make sure that you know about, especially if you're brand new to cruising, is back when cruising first started, like I was just telling you, everyone ate in the main dining room. We'd have the main dining room and you'd pretty much have the buffet. And they would have maybe a few other things on the ship, depending on the ship. But those were the main places that you ate, the buffet or the main dining room. And as we started to change things a little bit on cruise ships, along came specialty dining. It was a way for the cruise ships to charge for dinner, as specialty dining costs extra unless it's part of your package, which costs extra. And it also was supposed to be offering overall a different experience, either an elevated experience, a different cuisine that they felt that they could offer to everyone in the main dining room. And so it just became something that some people enjoy. But I think the most important thing to remember with dining on a cruise ship is you can pay for your cruise fare and go on your cruise. And then if you don't want to spend anything else on dining, you don't have to. I get asked that question an awful lot of times from people that are newer to cruising or they're cruising on a cruise line that they have never sailed on before. So And make sure you know what's going on with your cruise. But with those large cruise lines, you easily can go have delicious food your whole cruise and not have to pay anything extra if you don't want to. Okay, those specialty dining places are fun. There's something different, but you definitely can have a fun cruise and not spend anything and not worry about going to those if it's not really in your budget or you're not really interested. Okay, so let's think about the 5 things that I think are very important. Number 1, if you are particular about what time you're going to eat, if you want to have a set schedule so that you eat and then you're going to make it to the show, whatever it is that you've got planned, think about doing a reservation. The different cruise lines do the reservations a little bit differently, but find out for the cruise line that you're going to go on and make some reservations if you want to be able to plan ahead and eat at a certain time. Or some of the cruise lines you cannot make your reservations until you get on board. There's some different ways of doing it with the different ones, but make sure that you find out how it works. Now, one thing I do want to point out that's really important, because I talked to Princess, I've shared this before, but I can tell with people that I talk with, they don't get it. And so I want to tell you, when you are trying to make your Princess reservations, of course, we all do our best in the app. Sometimes the app works really well, sometimes it doesn't, and I don't think that the app is even designed to do certain things when it comes to dining. A few of the things that stand out to me is if you want a larger table. I have never been able to add people to seat 10 people at a table. That has never worked, and I don't think that that is something that they really want to work, because they have a limited number of tabletops that can accommodate 10 people. The same with some of the larger tables. You think like you want 8 people, 9 people to dine together. And so make your dining reservations the best you can. If there are several of you, make individual tables for 2. And then when you get to the main dining room, you can let them know that you want to seat together. The most important tip I've got for you when it comes to being able to eat at the time that you really want to eat is do your best to make those reservations. And then when you get on board on the very first day of your cruise, go to where it is that they are managing that with the dining people and get that set up. Every time you get on a Princess cruise, they have got a main dining room or a specialty dining room set aside to be able to ask for what you want for the cruise for your dining. Whether it's specialty dining, whether it's main dining room dining, that's where you go and ask for what you want. That includes the chef's table. They don't offer the chef's table in the app to book your dining, so go there and get on the schedule for the chef's table. And if they don't have any spots left, ask for the wait list, because I know several people that have gotten the chef's table because they were on the wait list, because people's schedules change. So always make sure you take care of that. The same with the other cruise lines. If you made a reservation for a time and that's not what you wanted, go see if they can switch it around. But remember to do your best before you go on the cruise to get what you want. And then when you get on board, you can tweak it. Now, some of the cruise lines don't really have it so that you make too many reservations before you go. Like I think in my mind of Celebrity, they do seatings at 6 and 8:30 in the main dining rooms on their smaller ships. And if you want to eat at a different time than that, you have to ask them when you get on board. So if your paper says that you're seated at 6 o'clock that first night, you're going to kind of panic. You're going to go down there. It's going to be this huge line, but it moves really fast once they open the main dining room doors. And so they'll seat you at your table. And if you want to eat at a different time, you just ask them. And if they can accommodate you, they will. If most nights you can sit down at 6, but one evening you want to sit at 7, ask if they can accommodate that. They're always trying really hard to take good care of everybody. All right. So keep that in mind. The second thing is allergies. If you have food allergies, it's really important to let the wait staff know that so that they can take good care of you. Also, enter your allergies in the app. It's really easy to go in and say, I'm allergic to shellfish or nuts, whatever it is. Enter in the app, and then when you get to dinner time, make sure that you ask them about it, okay? And they will make sure that what they serve you doesn't have in it what you can't eat, okay? So make sure you make them aware, and if you've entered your restrictions in the app, do mention it anyway, because you don't want them to not be aware of what you entered, okay? And then next we have got some people that like certain diets. They want to eat vegan, they're vegetarian, they want, they're gluten-free, whatever it is. I have noticed that the cruise lines have really stepped up to this. For example, when we were just on the Discovery Princess in Alaska, every evening there were options for gluten-free, for vegan options. So you can really, and sugar-free options too, is like you think of dessert. They've always got sugar-free desserts. I've noticed they do the same over in the International Cafe. They always have something that people with those dietary restrictions can eat. Okay, so make sure that you just keep an eye out when you're up in the buffet. If you can't see anything right off, ask them where that would be, and I am sure they can point you to it. Okay, and I hear that people really like that a lot better. I've noticed that they are really doing really good things with when it comes to some of these dietary options. So the future is bright on that. Okay, next, remember that there are lots of places to eat when you're on board a ship. You've not only got the main dining room and the specialty dining, but most of the cruise ships have options up by the pool that you can eat at, whether it's sandwiches, pizza, whatever it is. Princess has got the International Cafe. All of the cruise lines have their different things that are also included. And so don't just get in the rut thinking that you have to eat in a certain place every time you eat, whether it's specialty every night or the main dining room every night. Really look around, because you would hate to get off the ship and never try something that was really good. So make sure you look everything over. I always take a look, no matter what cruise line I'm on. They always list what all of the dining venues are. So I look at them and think of maybe what I want to try in those places, at least be aware of them, and take advantage of the chance that I have to try them. So don't forget, there are way more options than just the main dining room or that specialty dining that costs extra. Really quickly, I want to invite you to please subscribe to our channel. We are just a couple of days away from getting on the Love Boat Cruise, and that's when I said that I was hoping we could have 25,000 subscribers by then. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. You're going to be really glad you did. And if you appreciate my videos, would you please give this video a thumbs up? Thank you so very much. Number 5, it's really important to remember a few things when it comes to enjoying. Make sure that you remember that you get to be on a cruise and that they are cooking dinner for you. They're cleaning up the dishes. And I don't say that in a way to brush off when things are not to your liking, but I am saying that it's really important to remember that you're not in a 5-star restaurant unless you are in a 5-star restaurant on a cruise ship, but the main dining rooms on these large cruise ships are not 5-star restaurants, and so don't expect a 5-star meal. My experience has been that on all of the cruise ships, the meals have been just fine. They've been fine, and I think that it's really important to keep perspective. As soon as we decide to expect something that is probably not there, then we're going to be disappointed. But if we go expecting to have a nice dinner, then we're going to go have a nice dinner. And often the best part of dinner is not the food, it's the people that you get to dine with. And if your food isn't exactly perfect like your mom makes, or it's not exactly like you had in a super fancy restaurant somewhere, it's okay. It's okay. And so I don't want you to get over-focused on the food and thinking it's not what I expected or something else, and miss how fun it is to get to be on a cruise and to be with whoever you're cruising with, or if you're by yourself, you just get to relax. I've been by myself before and still had a wonderful cruise. So just throwing that out there. Let me know if you have any questions. Share your experiences with dining in the comments. I always love to hear from you. And I know that there are a lot of other people that read the comments too and learn a lot, and it's really fun to share. So thank you very much, and I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.